All right, let's talk about something that is a huge challenge for so many businesses. How do you take all that messy, chaotic data you're collecting and turn it into one of your most powerful assets? We're going to build the blueprint for a modern data platform, and we're going to do it right here on Google Cloud. Let's dive right in. I want to kick things off with this question because, let's be real, it usually feels like the second one, doesn't it? You've got data pouring in from your apps, from marketing tools, from user logs. It's coming from everywhere, and it feels like you're just trying to keep your head above water. And this really gets to the heart of the problem. Having a mountain of data means absolutely nothing if you don't have a clear plan, a solid architecture to actually make sense of it all. It's kind of like having a warehouse packed with raw ingredients, but no kitchen and zero recipes. Well, today we're building the kitchen. I want you to think of your data platform as this super efficient factory. And what does every factory need? It needs a receiving dock, right? A place to gather all the raw materials before you do anything else. For us, that's going to be our data lake. So what is a data lake? Honestly, it's pretty much what it sounds like, a huge central pool where you can just dump everything. We're talking text files, database records, images, logs, it doesn't matter one bit. You just get it all into one place. And on GCP, the perfect tool for this is Google Cloud Storage. Just think of it as a virtually infinite and incredibly affordable digital warehouse where you can store anything and everything, no matter the format or size. Okay, now this part is super important. You don't just create one giant messy pile. You're smarter than that. You separate your data into two kinds of buckets. First, you have your raw buckets. This is your pristine, untouched, original data. It's a permanent archive you can always go back to. Then you have your curated buckets. This is where you keep the cleaned up, processed, and analysis-ready data. Seriously, this separation is the key to a reliable data platform. Okay, so we've gathered all of our raw materials. Now it's time to head to the main factory floor, the refinery. This is where the real magic happens. This is where we transform that raw, messy data into valuable, polished products. You know, the insights that actually drive your business forward. So here's how that journey looks. Data comes in from all over and lands in that raw storage bucket we talked about. Then, these automated processes, we call them batch jobs, they kick in. You can think of these as little automated recipes that just run on a schedule. They pick up the raw data, they clean it, transform it, maybe combine it with other data, and then they load the finished structured product into our data warehouse. And for us, that's BigQuery. And that brings us to the data warehouse itself. Look, if the data lake is your giant, messy pile of raw ingredients, the data warehouse is your perfectly organized pantry where everything has a label. In our factory, Google's BigQuery is this warehouse. It's serverless, which is really just a fancy way of saying you don't have to worry about managing any of the computers underneath. Google handles all that for you. And the crucial difference here is, unlike the data lake where the data's kind of wild, here it's all pre-structured and organized, specifically built for asking really complex questions of massive data sets with incredible speed. So our factory is up and running. We're collecting data, we're processing it, but we're not done yet. Now it's time for the upgrades. We've got to make sure our factory isn't just working, but that it's running as fast, as efficiently, and of course, as securely as it possibly can. This is the million-dollar question for any data team, right? When you're dealing with terabytes or even petabytes of data, every single query can cost you real time and real money. So how do you optimize? Well, BigQuery has two fantastic built-in tools for this. Think of partitioning like splitting a giant phone book into sections by letter. If you're looking for someone named Smith, you only have to look in the S section, not the entire book. With data, it's often done by date, so you can just query a single day's worth of data instead of a whole year's. Then clustering is like sorting all the entries within the S section by first name. It physically organizes the data based on columns used a lot, like a customer ID, making those lookups lightning fast. The bottom line for both? You save money because you scan way less data. You know, optimization isn't just about speed, it's also about safety. You are building the central brain for your company's data, and it absolutely, positively has to be secure. This is completely non-negotiable. So how does GCP handle this? Well, the key thing to remember is that it provides security in layers. First, you've got IAM, which controls the big picture, who can even walk into the factory. Then you can get super specific, granting access to only certain assembly lines or even specific tools. That's your dataset and table access. And then underneath all of it, Google automatically encrypts everything the second it's stored. It's a powerful, multi-layered defense that makes sure only the right people can get to the right data.
All right, we've walked through all the different parts of our data factory. We've seen the collection dock, the refinery, and all the performance and security upgrades. So now, let's put it all together into one final actionable blueprint.
This is it. This is your checklist for building a rock-solid data platform on GCP. You start with that fundamental raw and curated separation in cloud storage. Then you build your automated processing jobs. You load that clean data into structured BigQuery datasets. You intelligently optimize your most used tables with partitioning and clustering. And finally, you lock it all down with strict security controls. This isn't just a list of steps. This is the proven pattern for turning data chaos into a real strategic asset. So, we've covered the architecture, the tools, the whole strategy. The blueprint is now in your hands. The real question is, what incredible insights, what new products, what business-changing intelligence are you going to build with it? I'm excited to see what you create. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.